Good evening and welcome to ICU TV main news. Let's take a look at the top stories making headlines. South African government expresses hope for the late President Lungu's burial in Zambia. Zambia leverages EdTech and AI to revolutionize learning. Economist Dodia says UPND's debt restructuring efforts are fueling economic growth. In international news, Nigeria bans export of shea nuts used in beauty creams for 6 months. In sports news, Zesco Ndola girls set for semifinals, Showdown against Mamelodi Sundowns. Presenting the news, I am Yamba Margaret, and now the news in details. The South African government has expressed optimism that the recent Constitutional Court ruling regarding the late former President Edgar Lungu will pave the way for his burial to take place in his home country. Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Ronald Lamola, said his government hopes the decision will help both the Zambian government and the Lungu family come to an agreement on the arrangements surrounding the funeral. Speaking during a press briefing in South Africa today, Mr. Lamola noted that this has consistently been South Africa's position to encourage mutual understanding between both parties involved. The South African Constitutional Court yesterday dismissed an application by Mr. Lungu's family to appeal a prior decision from the Pretoria High Court, which had ordered the repatriation of his remains to Zambia. In response to the ruling, Secretary to the Cabinet Patrick Kangwa reaffirmed Zambia's commitment to working with the president's family to find a respectful compromise that honors both the family's wishes and state's responsibilities. Mr. Kangwa emphasized that the government's stance remains unchanged, that the late president should receive a dignified state funeral in recognition of his service to the nation. He also expressed gratitude to the Zambian public for their patience and urged citizens to refrain from making decisive or inflammatory comments during this period of national mourning. Zambia's Ministry of Education is stepping up efforts to integrate educational technology and artificial intelligence into the national education system with the goal of enhancing learning outcomes and easing the workload on educators. Speaking during the EdTech and AI Indaba 2025 held in Lusaka on Wednesday, 27 August 2025, Education Minister Douglas Siyakalima emphasized that hastening innovation is key to unlocking the full potential of Zambia's students and teachers. Mr. Siyakalima, also the Member of Parliament for Chirundu, said technology is the bridge to unlock the promise of Zambia's talented learners, dedicated teachers, and resilient communities. He pointed out that tools like AI and digital platforms not only improve the learning experience through instant feedback, but also reduce the administrative demands placed on educators. Mr. Siyakalima reiterates the government's dedication to ensuring inclusive, high-quality education for all, in line with the 2022-2026 Strategic Education Framework. Echoing similar sentiments, Minister of Science and Technology Felix Mutati underscored AI's transformative role in education. Mr. Mutati notes that intelligent systems can take over repetitive tasks, allowing teachers to devote more time to engaging directly with students. He says AI eliminates time and space barriers, enabling anytime, anywhere learning, which is why ministries are collaborating to expand ICT access nationwide. Meanwhile, country head of Education Zambia, Ms. Mule Monga, applauded the Indaba for uniting education and stakeholders. She says aligning civil society initiatives with national priorities to drive meaningful change is important. The EdTech and AI Indaba 2025 serves as a platform for stakeholders to explore challenges and opportunities in digital education through keynote addresses, collaborative discussions, and concrete policy proposals. Economist Useful Dodia says the United Party for National Development's debt restructuring program is beginning to progress tangible economic benefits. In a phone interview with Kanele FM, Mr. Dodia cited the recent appreciation of the kwacha against the US dollar and ongoing infrastructure development as key indicators for progress. Reviewing the UPND's 4 years in office, Mr. Dodia highlighted major projects such as the Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway and increased investments in solar energy as significant drivers of economic growth. Mr. Dodia expresses optimism about the country's economic trajectory, attributing it to the current momentum in infrastructure development. He, however, emphasizes the need for greater investment in the energy sector, noting that continued power shortages are negatively affecting business operations nationwide.
In trying to find a way of how to service our debt, but at the same time develop our economy. And to this extent, it appears that we have made some successes over the last 4 years, not as rapidly as we would have hoped. I think there were issues earlier on that were unresolved, especially with countries like China. But now we seem to be in a position where these restructuring mechanisms are bearing fruit, and less money is being allocated towards debt servicing, and some money is being available to building the nation. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I think we have achieved in the last 4 years is that at least in the last 12 months, we have managed to ensure that the export proceeds tracking framework is implemented, and we are beginning to see the fruits of that initiative in the form of a kwacha, which is getting stronger each month since June. So that is another positive development we have seen.
Zamnat hosts media training on health taxes and public health advocacy. The Zambia Media Network Against Tobacco, in collaboration with Resolve to Save Lives and Free College of Communications, have kicked off a 2-day workshop aimed at equipping journalists with the skills to effectively report on health taxes related to tobacco and alcohol use. Themed Health Taxes, Shaping Narratives for Public Health. The training is designed to promote data-driven journalism that supports stronger public health policies and reforms. Zamnat patron and executive director of the Center for Primary Care Research, Professor Fason Ngoma, raised concern over the declining media focus on tobacco control, warning that reduced coverage could allow the tobacco industry to regain influence while public health advocates lose ground. He emphasizes the urgency of the issue, noting that tobacco-related illnesses claim over 7,000 Zambian lives each year, while alcohol-related harm contributes to an even higher death toll. Professor Goma welcomed the continued collaboration with Resolve to Save Lives and Free College of Communications, commending their role in bolstering Zambia's fight against non-communicable diseases.
Temperature for reporting has already gone down, and what is known is that our friends in the tobacco industry are actually very active, reporting on their end, and they are gaining ground, so to say. And us who know the truth, us who are supposed to be custodians of people's health are relaxed in our offices and have our pens down. So we are hoping that this workshop will really arouse all of you and make you pick up your pens and start reporting, so to say, so that everyone knows the truth and everyone rallies with the right side of the argument. We would want to welcome Dr. Vinayak from Resolve to Save Lives, and would want to really thank him for taking the initiative to support this particular work. And we are hoping that this is the beginning of our many engagements with the Resolve to Save Lives. They have been around, they have been working with our other partners, but now they are starting to work with us at Center for Primary Care Research, and we are glad because we are the ones who have taken tobacco and alcohol as one of those issues that need our attention going forward. And so we are hoping that as we get the support, we will really be saving lives in Zambia. We know that right now we are still losing more than 7,000 lives to tobacco alone per year, many more to alcohol. And we want to really thank Resolve to Save Lives for committing themselves to being here and to working with us. And we want to welcome our lady from Frey College. And it was good to see that we have our own coming down, so to say, to come and tell us about what we should be doing. And so we want to welcome her.
Speaking on behalf of Resolve to Save Lives, Dr. Vinayak Bhardwaj highlighted health taxes as a triple win for society, reducing harmful consumptions, generating domestic revenue, and lowering healthcare costs. He also pointed to alarming statistics: one in four Zambian adolescents aged 13 to 15 uses tobacco, and 97% of adults live with at least one risk factor for NCDs.
Global public health organization that was founded by Dr. Tom Frieden, who was the former director of the Center for Disease Control in the US under President Obama. And the goal of the organization is to partner with countries, communities, and organizations to prevent premature deaths due to cardiovascular diseases and epidemics. We believe that every person deserves to live a long and healthy life, and we want to make this a reality through evidence-based interventions and policies. Non-communicable diseases in Zambia are a growing threat, and we know that heart disease, cancer, and diabetes are emerging as major threats to the Zambian health and economy. 97% of adults in Zambia have at least one risk factor for non-communicable diseases. 3.3 million adults are living with 3 or more risk factors. And without urgent action, non-communicable diseases could overwhelm Zambia's health system and hinder economic development. So this slide is a bit erroneously titled The Solution. It should be a solution because we know that it will take multiple strategies to tackle such a huge problem. But essentially, we think that taxes on alcohol, tobacco, and sugar-sweetened beverages are a triple win for Zambia because they save lives by making unhealthy products more expensive and reducing consumption, therefore preventing disease. They cut costs by having fewer people sick. It means less strain on the healthcare system, and generating revenue. As we know, many of our African countries are now struggling with the flight of foreign assistance. So this is a real opportunity for us to take control of our health system by ensuring that we mobilize our own resources to pay for it. So I'll just quickly go through each of the taxes, and I know there are presentations this morning that will equip you with the information you need to understand the tobacco.
More than 3.3 million people in Zambia are burdened with 3 or more of these risks, posing serious threats to public health and economic productivity. The workshop includes technical sessions on fiscal policies and their role in promoting healthier populations. It aims to empower the media to advocate more effectively for policies like the long-awaited Tobacco Control Bill. We now take our first set of commercials. Please stay tuned for more news.
Welcome to the Zambia Research and Development Center, an institution dedicated to national development through capacity building and community development. Established in 2007 by a group of professionals and lecturers, ZRDC has since become a hub of research and innovation in the country. Registered with the Ministry of Home Affairs under the Registrar of Societies, ZRDC pursues cutting-edge research to address pressing social and economic challenges. Get involved. ZRDC engages in activities that stimulate international collaboration, promote knowledge sharing, and make research expertise available to decision makers. Our mission at ZRDC is to foster innovation and capacity building for national development. We believe in addressing poverty and underdevelopment through institutional and capacity building, human empowerment, and gender participation. In our quest to foster innovation and capacity building for national development, ZRDC launched the ZRDC University Sponsorship for Capacity Building and Development Program to facilitate knowledge advancement among ZRDC researchers and those intending to join the research community. Qualified Zambian citizens can pursue education at credible universities in Zambia with guaranteed prospects of joining the ZRDC research community. ZRDC engages in industrial and technological research, covering research development and innovative investigations to drive dynamic industrial development at national and regional levels. Join us at the Zambia Research and Development Center as we continue to innovate, empower, and shape a brighter future for Zambia. ZRDC, fostering innovation and capacity building for national development.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. To continue with the news in our local stories, 3 nabbed for alleged illegal surveillance at Ngandu's consulting. The Zambia Police Service has arrested 3 individuals, including 2 directors from Ngandu Consulting Limited, over allegations of installing surveillance equipment without authorization, an act considered a breach of the Cybersecurity and Cyber Crimes Act. The suspects have been identified as Mr. David Mwale of Chainama Ben Mwinga PHI, Mr. Mumbua Diyunga of Rockview Chalala, and IT technician Mr. Michael Ikezo Munali of Charleston. They are facing charges under Section 11 of the Act, specifically relating to the use of illegal devices and software. The arrests stem from a complaint filed on July 17, 2025 at Woodlands Police Station by Mr. Abe Ongandu, a co-director at the firm. He accused the trio of installing concealed surveillance cameras in his private lounge at the company's Woodlands office without his consent. Their unauthorized surveillance is believed to have occurred between May 27th and July 17th, 2025. Police spokesperson Reha Monga explained that Mr. Munali was initially hired in February 2025 to install security cameras in shared spaces such as corridors and external areas. However, the situation escalated when a visitor later discovered a hidden camera in Mr. Ngandu's private area, triggering a formal complaint. As part of the investigation, police confiscated mobile phones from the suspects and forwarded them to Zicta for digital forensics. The analysis completed on August 26th confirmed the existence of unauthorized images and video footage of Mr. Ngandu. All the 3 suspects are currently in custody and are expected to be granted bond before their court appearance. The Zambia Police Service reiterated its commitment to upholding the Cybersecurity and Cyber Crimes Act, assuring the public that it remains vigilant against all forms of unlawful surveillance and digital privacy violations. Rural outreach drives blood donation surge in Southern Province. The Southern Province Blood Bank has reported a consistent rise in blood donations, with around 7,000 units already collected this year. Provincial Blood Bank Coordinator Clifford Zulu said Last year's store stood at approximately 10,000 units, and this year's number are on a track to exceed that. Mr. Zulu credited the increase to intensified outreach initiatives, especially in rural communities where participation has been notably strong. Despite this progress, he highlighted that the number of walk-in donors remains relatively low, averaging just 10 per day. He encourages urged the public to make regular blood donations a habit, emphasizing its critical role in saving lives. You are still watching ICU TV main news. We take a short break, and coming up is international and sports news. Stay tuned.
The Information and Communications University is driving the thrill for the nation in research and development. Enroll now for full-time and distance programs in the School of Engineering, Humanities, Business and Education. To apply, visit our website at www.icuzambia.net or call us on +260 211 221 662 or 0966 342 359. Sponsorship is available. Enroll now.
Welcome back. In international news, Nigeria has announced a 6-month ban on the export of raw shea nuts, from which many beauty creams are made. The move is aimed at making the trade more lucrative, as Nigeria is losing out by not producing much shea butter locally. The country produces nearly 40% of the world's annual crop, but it only accounts for 1% of the $6.5 billion global market, a situation Vice President Kashim Shettima described as unacceptable. Harvested fruit from shea nut trees have to be crushed, roasted and boiled to extract their oil to produce the shea butter used in cosmetics. We are still in international news. South Africa's firebrand MP found guilty of hate speech. South African opposition politician Julius Malema has been convicted of hate speech by the country's Equality Court following remarks he made at a rally in 2022. Malema, leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters Party, often sparks controversy in a nation where 31 years after apartheid ended, racial tension still lingers. After an incident where a white man allegedly assaulted an EFF member, Malema said no white man was going to beat him, adding that one must never be scared to kill and that a revolution demands that at some point there must be killing. The Equality Court ruled that these remarks demonstrated an intent to incite harm, but the EFF said they were taken out of context. In sports news, Zambian champions Zesco Ndola girls have sealed their spot in the semifinals of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers as the best second-place team. The team's impressive performance has earned them a coveted spot in the last four, where they will face off against South African girls giants Mamelodi Sundowns on Friday. The stakes are high, as the winner of the semi-final match will only progress to the final but also secure a qualification spot for the CAF Women's Championship League. Zesco Ndola girls will need to bring their A game to take down the experienced Mamelodi Sundowns. The semi-finals match against Mamelodi Sundowns is a huge opportunity for Zesco Ndola girls to make a statement and showcase their talent on the continental stage. With the support of their fans and the national behind them, the team will look to make Zambia proud and bring glory to the country. The stage is set for an electrifying encounter, and all eyes will be on Zesco Ndola girls as they take on the challenge. And that sports item brings us to the end of our main news today. But before we go, a quick recap on the top stories that made headlines. South African government expresses hope for late President Lungu's burial in Zambia. Zambia leverages EdTech and AI to revolutionize learning. Economist Dodia says UPND's debt restructuring efforts are fueling economic growth. In international news, Nigeria bans export of shea nuts used in beauty creams for 6 months. In sports news, Zesco Ndola girls set to semifinals showdown against Mamelodi Sundowns. Thank you so much for watching. For more news updates, please stay glued to our Facebook page at ICU TV and our website at icutvzm.com. Good night.